Hello everyone, I'm Rodney from frigging and today I'm looking at a pretty darn hardcore mini-ITX case from NZXT. It is their Manta. Now why so hardcore? Well, look at it. And it comes in 4 different versions. You can fit a standard ATX power supply on the inside. It comes with lots of fans. You can install more, and it has all kinds of water cooling support. Okay, so just have a look. This thing has styling and lines like no other case that's currently on the market. Certainly not any mini-ITX case. I love it. Clean lines and styling all in one package, and it comes in 4 different versions. You can get it in this one, the matte black with the window. You can get the matte black without the window, also a matte black and red, and a matte white and black. I'd say a lot of people will probably like the matte white and black. Super stylish. Okay, so let's have a look around this case. This, of course, is the windowed version, but like the other ones, it's mainly comprised of steel and plastic with some mesh along each side at the top and the front. At the bottom front, more ventilation. At the top, very plain. At the top middle is a status LED. Here's the power button, and at the top right, there's 2 USB 3 ports and the audio jacks. Now this is a bit of a teaser, and I'll remove the top panel a little later on, but you can fit optionally up to 2 120 or 2 140mm fans or a 280mm radiator. Now what about you want to remove the front panel? No problem, just pull right here. The whole thing just comes right off, and they do include a very large removable dust filter. Just pop this lever here at the top and you can take it right off. Now they include 2 120mm intake fans, but alternatively you can install 2 140mm fans or up to a 280mm radiator. Oh, and I know some of you will probably want to have a closer look here at this front panel. Well, as I mentioned before, there's ventilation on either side, and there's plenty of room in here to allow those fans at the front to intake cool air. Okay, so removing the front panel and filter is really easy, but how easy are they to put back? Well, let me show you. I have the camera in my left hand, and I'm installing the filter and front panel with my right hand. See how easy that is? At the back of the case, at the very top, there's more ventilation. Now gaining access to the top to install fans and or a radiator is pretty easy. First, remove the front panel and then pop it off like so. Have a look here. You can see there's ventilation on either side and ample space to allow the fans to do their job. Now the fan holes are slotted throughout the case, and that's awesome for installing not only fans, but of course radiators. Now remember that single status LED at the top of the case, which is essentially a piece of plastic. Well, look at this. You've got 2 power LEDs on either side, and the hard drive LED is in the middle. At the back of the case, at the very bottom, they include a removable dust filter. Of course, this is for the power supply's intake fan. They include rubber rests for the power supply to lodge on. As you can see, there are 4 thumb screws, 2 here and 2 at the top. Here is where you would install the motherboard's I/O shield plate. They include a 120mm exhaust fan, but optionally here you can install a 120mm radiator, and they include 2 ventilated expansion slots. Now if it's dark where you are and you need some extra illumination in this area, they include a couple of LEDs at the top here, and this is the button for them. Now removing the panels on this case is pretty much like any other case. You loosen or take off the screws at the rear, then slide the panel backwards and lift the panel off. It's the same for this case. However, they've done a great job at it. It feels solid and very well engineered. I've loosened the thumb screws at the back already. I just have to slide it backwards a little and it comes right off. Note the points here where it actually attaches to the case, and there's lots of them. On the inside, you've got plenty of room to work. You can install a mini-ITX form factor motherboard. That's it. You have no other motherboard options. You can see that there's a large hole on the motherboard tray for the cooler's retention plate as well. Lots of cable management holes, and there's around 30 millimeters of space behind the motherboard tray and the right side panel. As well, you can install up to 2 3.5-inch drives or up to 3 2.5-inch drives. And at the bottom, you've got a power supply shroud with ventilation at the top, and note their logo. Now, I guess if you don't like branding, this is really not going to do anything for you, and you can light it up if you want to. Okay, so there's LEDs at the back, and the logo can be illuminated. So let me show you how it works. Press this LED button once, it will illuminate here at the back. Press it again, it will illuminate the logo. Press it again, both will be illuminated. Press it once more, and both are off. In the middle, they have a section that you can route cables through, and here are the 2 2.5-inch drive brackets. And to install a 2.5-inch drive, just remove a single thumb screw, then slide the bracket backwards, install the drive, and simply replace it and put the thumb screw back. Now, what about cooler height, video card, and power supply length? Well, let's go through that now. You can fit a cooler that is up to 160 millimeters tall. That's very impressive for a mini-ITX case, and as well a video card and power supply that are up to 363 millimeters in length. At the right on the inside, you can see the punch outs for organizing the cables, the large hole on the motherboard tray for the cooler's retention plate, and the holes for routing the cables through. Now let's have a closer look at the fan hub. On the left is the power connection supplied by a Molex lead. There are 7 3-pin fan connections and 1 4-pin fan connection. And by the way, they do include a 4-pin fan extension cable, and at the top right is the PWM cable. Oh, and I should mention this power supply length will vary. It depends on whether you have a drive installed here. As I already mentioned, on the inside of the case on those brackets, you can install 2 2.5-inch drives. Well, you can install a 3.5-inch drive here, another 3.5-inch drive at the bottom, but alternatively, you can also install a 2.5-inch drive. At the bottom, there are 4 rubber feet, and they're pretty darn tall. This is good if you have the case on a soft surface. Okay, so by now I figure you've pretty much fallen in love with this case, right? And I suspect the matte white and black version will be a major hit. I mean, the overall build quality and styling is really like no other mini-ITX case on the planet, and it gives you so many possibilities when it comes to installing lots of fantastic hardware on the inside. Now, one thing it doesn't have is the option for an optical disc drive, but for most, that's not going to be an issue. And of course, if you're looking for a small, slim mini-ITX case, then this is not it. But for everyone else looking to build something wicked on the inside, this is it. This is a 100% kick-ass product. Until next time, take care. Well, that's it, but I hope you enjoyed the review, and if you think this and other videos that I produce are great, please like them, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, your comments are very welcome, and if you have any questions, let me know.